Hello everyone. Now as you can see, I've decided to do the long loop. I'm going to Bote Mountain, then we're going to do West Prong to Tremont, and then I'm going to walk Tremont Road all the way back to Townsend. If you're kind of curious on the mileage, I've already done 12 miles. That's just to here. So my guess and all, even with the road walk, I'm probably going to end up probably close to 20 miles today. Not a little bit more. Of course, that includes all my venturing off and all that down in White Oak Sinks. But I'm probably not going to hang around campsite 18 too much. It's probably just going to be a quick walk through just on the trail. I'm not going to venture off and look at the sights or anything. I'll do that another day when I just do that trail and that trail only. There may be people down there camping anyway. Of course, we got a little bit over a mile to do of this trail before we get to West Prong. This is probably going to be the hardest part of this part. This is a fairly good climb up Bote Mountain. Even though back in the day this used to be a road. See, there's a bunch of bogs. It's hard to see, but there is actually a little waterfall back in there. But it's hard to see it. Definitely no way down to it. The drop off the trail here is about vertical. And no, I didn't video any of the hike back out to the trailhead at Schoolhouse Gap, but hopefully I'll be back here in a week or two and I'll get that. see if there's any more flowers down there in the sinks. Maybe do a little bit more exploring down there. I think I just didn't go back far enough. I just didn't want to go way too far, adding even more miles to my mileage today. Like I said, that mileage I'm saying is including all the road walk I did from Townsend to, not from where I started at Curry Mountain. I think it would be roughly 10 or 11 miles. Still a lot of miles, but if we just started at Curry Mountain. I did take a break down in White Oak Scenes, but I felt the need to take another break before I started this trail. We started out chilly in Pigeon Forge, and now it's hot. It's got to be 80 or more now. Of course, this is my third video of the day. It's going to be the same day for me, but it's going to be different days for you.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I used to do sport with you,
Of course, this trail in West Prong are usually a fairly busy trail. Chestnut Top, not so busy usually, except for that first little part where the flowers are. Most people just go up and see the flowers and then walk back down. course, this trail, if you walked the whole thing, it'd take you up all the way to Spence Field. And last time I was up there, it was snowing. That's been over a year now since I've been up there. I'm meaning to get back up there, 'cause I'd like to go on past Spence Field and get up to Rocky Top. But I think I'll take a different route up than my usual route. I think I may go Anthony Creek instead of Lead Cove, even though Anthony Creek's a little bit longer. The wind did slack off a little bit on my way back down Schoolhouse Gap. I still hear it in the higher elevations though, but it's not been blowing down here as much. But now when we get back on West Prong and start going up in the elevation a little bit, we may hit it again. You can definitely tell this used to be a road back in the day though. I'm sure the park might still use it for emergencies. Since I'm just going a short ways on this trail, I'm probably going to just keep this one video, this and West Prong all together. As if I remember right, West Prong isn't too long of a trail either. Plan on doing any stops on either trail unless I see something interesting. Like I said, I'm just going to basically fly through the campsite this time. I have a feeling there's probably quite a few people down there camping anyway. It's usually one of the busiest sites anyway. Not only because it's a good campsite, but it's one of the closer ones to the road, being just a little over a mile or so in. Even though I think most people, even though it's a little longer, I think most people do still hike in from the Tremont side. Mainly because I think they would think this way in's not too much of a real hike in. It's just a little bit over a mile. Mile and a half, something like that. And it's still only like 2 miles from Tremont, so still not that bad of a hike. But of course from Tremont it's more of a trail, not a road like this is. Actually feels good right now. What is this, man? Hopefully more flowers on West Prong Trail. Not too many on this trail. Of course that'll be the end closer to Tremont where we should start seeing more flowers. I tell you what, if I knew that water wasn't still ice cold this time of the year, I'd probably get in the water down at campsite 18 in a little while. But I know it's still ice cold this time of the year. once I get on West Prong, the climb won't be so bad. We'll have a little downhill and then another short climb until it goes back to downhill. I don't know if the camera's picking them up or not, but there are quite a few violets along the trail. I think this is gonna be my longest hike in the while here in the Smokies. Done a few long ones, of course, here, but I think this is the longest one in a while. Definitely be evening by the time I get back to Townsend, or very close to it anyway. Didn't see it, but it sounds like another little desert ramp through the leaves. They'll come out and sit in the sun in the leaves, and you won't know they're there until you hear them scamper. I was just lucky and caught that one yesterday going to White Oak Sinks. Well, earlier today for me, yesterday for you all. thinking we should be getting close to the trailhead. Yep, we're about there, and there's a tree down right at it. It's gotta be a fresh fall too, because I seen where they've been clearing trees out. So this one must have fell just recently, maybe even today. You can see the wind's still gusting pretty good. Must have been a tree squeaking. I thought I heard someone say hey, but I don't see anyone. It's hard to tell this wind. I don't see anyone. I'm sure I heard someone say hey. Back in the bad part of the wind I don't like. Get out from under this tree as fast as I can. It's not looking too good. But I'm sure it's still bad up on Chestnut Top too. So I would have been dealing with the same thing going back through there. Only thing, I think there'll be more people on this trail. At least there usually are, but you never know. Some days you get them weird days where you don't see hardly anyone on it. But I know I most likely wouldn't have seen anyone else on Chestnut Top for sure. Not as late in the day as it's getting. It's not super late, but it's kind of late to be coming in, if you know what I'm talking about. Especially if they're doing it out and back. I may video a little bit of the Walker's Road out. I'm not sure yet. But if I do, it'll definitely be a different video from this. Of course, I know by then I'm just going to be wanting to get to the vehicle. Not really too much stopping. I'm looking around. Yeah, of course I could have just parked at the Y and it wouldn't have been as bad as a road walk. Instead of parking all the way in Townsend, I just wanted to walk the road, see if there were any flowers up through there that you usually don't see because you're driving. chestnut dropped the other day. Of course, like I said, that's the other day to you all, same day for me, but the other day that I said. So we are closer to the clouds. Like I said, we're not supposed to have any storms or anything like that. At least that's what the weather is saying, but they weren't calling for this wind either. Like earlier, it's actually, you can't really tell it's clear this way. It's just cloudy up over the mountains. It's just we're closer to them. Why the clouds look a little closer. Of course, I haven't decided on the road yet. I don't know if I'm going to video it or just not video it. Of course, there will be some nice river views, but it's going to be noisy with cars going by and stuff. Should be getting very close to the campsite. It says it's only like 0.6 or something down the trail, but it's sure it feels a lot longer. But I definitely hear the river down there, the creek. But it's a big creek. I'm hearing the creek, but I'm hearing the wind too. It's a mixture of both right now, wind and the creek. And I think the wind is winning out right now. Between the creek noise and the wind. think it's gonna be about 4 miles. I may go ahead and split up the video. Just split it up here at the campsite since I didn't do it back there at the trailhead. I didn't realize it was almost 4 miles total. Doing that Bote Mountain Trail. Yep, I'm starting to see the campsite from here and the creek. This has got to be one of my favorite campsites though, even though I haven't stayed at it. I just like it. If I do stay at one, it'd probably be this one. At least first. Try to make sure it's a better day than this though. Weather wise, you know, as far as no rain or all, it's alright. Temperature wise, I just don't like the wind. Surprisingly, I'm not seeing anyone down here. Figured there'd be people camping down here. It's usually a fairly popular campsite. Of course, there are more sites back in there. We're not going to go back in there today. Like I said, it's going to be basically a quick run through here. Rather than stopping to end this part of the video to start another one. Because I forgot it was 4 miles total. And this is basically the halfway point from where we started to the other trailhead in Tremont. So basically it's the same hiking distance from either direction. I think most just still come in from the other direction. Mainly because there's a little bit more parking in that direction. I think people like to feel they're walking the trail more too than the road. Trail. Even though it's a trail now, but you know what I mean. Might as well be a road. It's still so wide. I hope you enjoyed that hike on Bote Mountain and down here to campsite 18 on West Prong Trail. Everyone, thanks for watching and have a great day.